Hello class 10, welcome to history lecture. Today we will do the reform of Raja Rammohan Roy, especially the anti-Sati movement and the role of Raja Rammohan Roy in that. So we'll see role of Rammohan Roy in the abolition of Sati. So we know that it was Raja Rammohan Roy who was a great social reformer of the 19th century, and during this time we see that he took up many social reforms and he raised his voice against many social evils of the Hindu society. So it was mainly in 1818 that he took up the cause of Sati. And there we see what is Sati, that we have to first mention in our answer, that Sati is the burning of the widow in the funeral pyre of their husbands. So this was from the very beginning opposed by Rammohan Roy from the time when he formed the Brahmo Samaj. The Brahmo Sabha was formed in 1828, and from that time of the Brahmo Sabha we see that Rammohan Roy raised his voice and protested an organized campaign against the practice of Sati. So in this regard what we see is that he mainly took the support of Hindu scriptures. Hindu scriptures and shastras like Manusmriti and other smritis and shrutis, and he interpreted them, he read them and interpreted them, and he brought to the fore, brought to the common people that these practices of Sati is nowhere legal, and in none of the scriptures it is mentioned that Sati should be practiced. So he vehemently opposed this practice of Sati and he protested against this practice of Sati. Of course, he faced opposition from the bigot Hindu class. He faced severe opposition from the Hindu conservative class. And this conservative class who were in support of the Sati, they opposed him and they tried to prove that Sati is mentioned in the Hindu Shastras and Smritis. However, Raja Rammohan Roy, who knew more than a dozens of languages, he knew almost every languages, so he himself read the scriptures and proved to the people and wrote them in easy languages so that the people can also read them, proved to the people that nowhere it is written that Sati should be practiced. So in the court he filed for a case, and there in this case we see that the court appointed pandits were there who were trying to prove that these things were mentioned in the shastras and shrutis and smritis. But Rammohan Roy himself could read Sanskrit and many other languages, so he himself read and proved that nowhere it is mentioned. That he challenged the pandits that to show where it is written in the scriptures. As he could read these different languages, he could not be fooled, and we see that during this time the British were also protesting against this Sati. The British also stated that the practice of Sati is promoted and organized by a particular class of people, especially for their material gain. So Raja Rammohan Roy voiced with the British, and there we see that he got support of many stalwart of his time, and of course the British support he got. And there we see that he went from house to house and he organized the signature campaign. Signature campaign was organized, and through this signature campaign he got the signature of many common people as well as many stalwarts, and this petition he presented to the court that this system, this unjust system is a criminal offence and it should be abolished. So due to his efforts we see that the people got aware, awareness was spread among the people against this system of Sati. Previously it was imposed on the people, imposed on the women especially, saying that it is mentioned in the Hindu Shastras that this has to be followed. When Rammohan Roy proved that there is no such mention in the Smriti, Shrutis or any Hindu Shastras, From that time, people became aware of it, and many people started protesting against this system of sati. So when he organized a signature campaign, and his cause became more popular, and many people gave their voice and gave their support to Raja Rammohan Roy. In this regard, we see that it was William Bentinck who passed the Anti-Sati Act finally, because the British were also vehemently against this, and we see that in Chandannagar the French had already stopped this system of sati, and in the Dutch areas of Sirampur also we see they have stopped the system of sati. But all over India we see that the British government passed the Act, the Regulating Act 17. Okay, so Regulating Act 17 of 1829. In 1829, by the Regulating Act 17, this sati, Anti-Sati Act was passed, and sati was made illegal. So it was due to Raja Rammohan Roy's effort that we see that sati was finally made illegal, but it was not such an easy task. Raja Rammohan Roy played a great role, because without Raja Rammohan Roy's support, or without Raja Rammohan Roy's active role, it would not have been possible for William Bentinck to suddenly pass the act. And even after passing the act, many people were also following, but many people also became conscious of this. Just because of Raja Rammohan Roy's active participation, we see that many people came to know that these are nowhere mentioned in the Shastras, and these are not actually a part of Hindu custom. This thing the common people came to know, that is mainly because of Raja Rammohan Roy's effort. And due to this, we see that this abolition of sati was a great step and a great success that Raja Rammohan Roy had achieved. And due to this, we see that the social system, the system of sati which was prevalent in the society during this time, it also became far less from the time when Raja Rammohan Roy took his steps, that is in 1818, and finally when the act was passed in 1829 by the act which abolished sati. Thank you.